So this week I have been drawing cylinders and spheres, moving into the 3D shapes. So I'm really excited for that. And this was my first drawing of this week, in which I drew like 3 different sizes of cylinders and 3 different sizes of spheres, since these are my shapes for the week. Yeah, it's mostly retaking the things I've learned with circles, which means that like how bigger it becomes, how more difficult it was for me. But I realized like if you like let go of your hand from the paper a little bit, that it goes smoother. I don't know whether that is a good practice or not, but that's something that works for me, so I'm doing it. Nothing more to tell about this drawing. Yeah, it's just drawing the shapes. And then, like I did last week with my pyramid and my cone, I drew like the cylinder and the sphere, and I cut them in two in order to get like a better idea of 3D perspective. I think it worked out really well. I think they are, for me at least, easier shapes to see like 3D than the pyramid. I found that the pyramid was highly confusing sometimes. I don't know why. But I found that like the sphere and the cylinder are easier. Yeah, the sphere is like the easiest one because it's technically just a circle that you pretend it's 3D. But like if you would just take those lines away, it would just practically be circle. So it's for me like the easiest shape in that way. But I think for most people that would be the easiest 3D shape once you can draw a proper circle. So yeah, added a little bit shadow again to like really give that 3D vibe. And then here I tried to add like a little bit perspective, in which I drew like a pad of cylinders with spheres on top. So I drew the cylinders first and then I added the spheres on top because I thought like it's also my sphere drawing week, so I should add some spheres in the drawing. So I drew a very small cylinder here, and then they grew as I went along, which creates a little bit of perspective in which this cylinder is further away than this cylinder. So yeah, it was just me playing with the shapes and making it a little bit more interesting than just drawing like how many did I draw? Then drawing 6 cylinders and 6 spheres on a piece of paper. Plus, because they increase in sizes, I also get that exercise in to draw like bigger and smaller shapes. And next, I found this drawing on YouTube and I thought it was like a cool exercise for cylinders. So it's like a bunch of cylinders which are bound together. Yeah, the hardest part about this drawing was that I drew this cylinder first, and then all the other cylinders, at least for my ID, were behind that first one. And so when I drew like the second one, I immediately drew like a full line on top of my first one, which of course then gives the wrong perspective. So with each cylinder, I really had to think like, this one is behind that one, and like make a little bit of a shadow line before I then continued down here. I think it worked out really well. Yeah, and it really makes me excited to continue to work like with the 3D shapes and see what I can do with them. So yeah, excited for upcoming weeks in which I will draw like more real things. So yeah. And then I drew some bend cylinders. So really to continue to make it interesting for myself, and also like then I again have the exercise of like when I make a squiggly line, then I make an accompanying similar squiggly line. So also a good exercise for that, and it is more fun just to continue to draw like the classic cylinder. And then this day was like a sort of drawing that I invented on the day. I wanted to draw like a tube in which like a sphere would fall and then roll out of it at the end. That was like the idea. I mean, like it isn't animated, so I drew the sphere several times, which was also a really good exercise in drawing spheres. So I draw it in different positions to kind of give the idea of it moving along the tube, and then I added some other tubes behind it just to get in some more exercise. Yeah, I did like it. I mean, maybe people didn't really recognize that it was tubes with the ball rolling in it when they saw the drawing, but anyway, I knew what it was about, and like it was an idea that I had that evening, when I was starting to draw, and I was like, okay, yeah, I will do it. It is a good exercise, so it doesn't matter. And then this was, I think this was already my last one. Yes. So this was my last drawing of that week, on which I just cut a sphere and a cylinder up, but in multiple pieces. So I cut the sphere in 4 pieces, and like the cylinders, I cut like this, which actually means that you just draw like 4 smaller cylinders, but still like done a really good exercise in drawing cylinders. Yeah, I must say that I did enjoy my week of cylinders and spheres. I like the circle. If I then have to be so nerdy to choose like a favorite shape, it will be a circle, not a triangle or the square with a circle. So I enjoyed this week of the sphere and cylinders. So I also enjoyed drawing more 3D shapes, which are a bit more challenging than your classic 2D shapes, but I think they are highly important in drawing to really learn how to master them. I'm not saying that I have mastered them yet, but I am trying and I am continuing to practice them until I one day hopefully master them. And so next week I will be going in this next 3D shape, which are cubes. So looking forward to see whatever I will be creating then. And if you're interested in that, I will see you next week. Bye!